Good afternoon and welcome to CityCast. This is Saili Patil.
And this is Anna Prakash.
And headlines for today are:
Ukraine says Russia has launched a full-scale invasion. Here's a report by Team CityCast.
UN Chief Antonio Guterres has urged the Russian president to stop the war. He also warned of global consequences due to this conflict. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden has said that the North Atlantic Treaty Organization will respond to this Russian aggression.
Amidst news of 9 people dying and several others getting injured, we bring you news of Indian students in Kharkiv. These medical students are stuck and are waiting for the directions from embassy. The Ministry of External Affairs has called for a high-level meeting and is looking for various evacuation routes to bring these students back. Our reporter Rishabh Rai tells us more about the issue.
More than 18,000 Indian students are awaiting clarity from government authorities to be able to return to India. Students from the Kharkiv National Medical University say they heard and felt shockwaves at 5 in the morning when Russia had bombarded the border cities. But they are yet to receive information about their evacuation from the Indian embassy.
We are hoping there's something like evacuation by the Indian government or anything. Nothing so far. I want to get out from here. I don't believe any place in Ukraine is safe at the moment.
In its latest notification issued today, the Indian Embassy in Ukraine has requested students to remain wherever they are. This comes 2 days after the embassy asked the students to evacuate immediately rather than wait for university's confirmation. Students complained that they were confused and unsure as to what their plan of action should be.
The same agents were communicating earlier that there was no problem, everything was fine. Our university was insisting that there was not going to be an issue and we should stay here and continue our studies offline. And we're forced to stay here, and I don't blame the university, but whenever we took these issues to the concerned people, the narrative that they were pushing on our face was that this is normal, it's always like this, where do you see a war?
Some of the students were planning to travel to other cities and fly from there.
Flying out during war is hard luck, I mean, if you're lucky, you get a flight out. Most friendliest people, they help you in everything. And so what I've planned is I'll take a train to Lviv, which is the westernmost part of Ukraine. And I'd rather stay there for around 2 days. I plan to travel to Poland, nearby to Lviv, and fly from Poland.
The Ministry of External Affairs in India has not issued any direction so far, but it has set up a control room to find solutions for Indians stuck in Ukraine. Indian students are a worried lot. Their families are panicking for their safe return. This is Rishabh Rai reporting for CityCast.
Moving away from the war, we look at how hostels for school children are doing in the city. Hostels belonging to other backward classes are largely vacant. Our reporter Shubhashri Mohapatra tells us why.
The pre-matric hostels for students belonging to backward classes get only 30 applications for 165 beds. Students left their hostels and moved to their villages during lockdown. Even though the schools are open now, they have not returned to the hostel.
सर इस साल तो हॉस्टल में एडमिशन कम है, वो लेट से ओपन हुआ, इसलिए वो उनके माँ बाप क्या सोचे इधर से टीसी लेके पूरे गांव में ज्वाइन कर दिए.
In the year 2019, the occupancy of these hostels was around 80%. The hostelers are provided with free food, accommodation, uniforms, stationery and other essentials. For the last academic year, Karnataka government allotted around 80,000 lakh rupees for the hostels in the state. Authorities are trying to reassure parents.
We are giving awareness program, everything about the department schemes, everything. Go to the migrant laborer states, approach them to send the children.
Expert says simple campaigning will not be able to bring back these students.
साथी लोग भी कर्नाटका की जगह के बता रहे थे कुल ऑनलाइन जो प्रोसेस था उसको एक्सेस नहीं कर पाए. सरकार को थोड़ा आगे आकर के अवेयरनेस बने और फैसिलिटी दे.
Association says that offline campaign with financial aid can bring back the students. Hostel authorities are also looking forward for the next academic year. This is Subhashri reporting for CityCast.
Christians in the city say they are now more guarded due to the increasing attacks on them in Karnataka. Our reporter Arshia Agarwal tells us more about incidents happening.
A report by People's Union for Civil Liberties records 39 incidents of hate crimes against Christians in just 1 year in Karnataka. Due to this, Christians are apprehensive and term these attacks to be baseless.
The attacks are a trigger. So I don't think Christianity will actually get into a stage where they'll get aggressive about it, but they will definitely be much more guarded.
A report by United Christians Forum records Karnataka to be third in South India when it comes to attacks against Christians.
After September, there is very much increase in the attacks against Christian community. There is fear in the community, especially in the rural areas where the pastors are threatened.
The 2011 census reports a decrease in the percentage of Christians in Karnataka in the past 30 years. The main perpetrators behind these attacks are Hindu groups like Bajrang Dal, RSS and others.
धर्मांतरण का मुद्दा जो है ना, ये बहुत गहन हो गया है. अभी लोगों का ध्यान हिंदू मुस्लिम में है, उसका फायदा उठा रहे हैं ये क्रिश्चियन लोग. और खासकर कोविड पीरियड में ऐसे लालच दे करके उन्होंने क्या किया, हिंदुओं के बहुत नजदीक लोगों को सबको धर्मांतरण करके क्रिश्चियन मिशनरी में मिला लिया.
Christians, on the other hand, believe that forceful conversions are against the core principles of Christianity and the action is not being taken properly against the perpetrators.
Tehsil Punyawala judgment, so in that clearly says a nodal officer should be appointed in every district. They must gather information on these type of attacks, but I don't know if they have done.
Experts believe that the state should hold the final accountability on these attacks and more efficient arrests should be made against the perpetrators. This is Arshia Agarwal reporting for CityCast.
This may be the last chance for readers to grab their favorite book by Westland Publishers as it decides to shut down. Our reporter Shubham Chauhan talks to authors and the readers.
Bookstores in the city have seen an 80% rise in their sales. This after Amazon-owned Westland Publishers announced its closure. Bookstore owners say there is a high demand, especially for non-fiction titles.
From last 15 days or 16 days, at least 80% sales from the Westland books only. We are getting order for the non-fictions because they have a wide range of fantastic non-fiction collection.
With over 200 titles being published every year, some of the popular authors at Westland include Chetan Bhagat and Akar Patel. The company's official statement, though, clarifies the older books will be available till 28th Feb, while the newer ones will be available till 31st March.
And I obviously saw posts by bookstores saying that, Feb 15th is the last day that they're placing their orders for the very last, set of book. That fear that these books may not exist is what led to me bulk buying these books.
Authors at Westland admit it will be a challenge to find another publishing house for their books.
So we've been told that if there is a situation like that, the rights come back to me, which is in April. Then I can decide what next with the book. Obviously, I would really hope for finding a new home for my book. That would be a pursuit. I don't know which publishing house.
While readers continue to throng bookstores and buy Westland books in bulk fearing they will go out of print, authors and bookstores still await as to what's in store for hundreds of titles post the closure. This is Shubham Chauhan reporting for CityCast.
We'll be right back after a short break. On other side, we'll bring you news of displacement of Pottery Town. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Families in Pottery Town face threat of displacement as a metro line runs through the 200-year-old neighborhood. Our reporter Prantika Ghosh tells us why.
Pottery Town is home to 40 families. They face the threat of evacuation with metro construction in the area. Potters allege that they have been asked to vacate the premises without any notice and have not assured of either compensation or rehabilitation.
All are scared because of metro work. We don't have any other place also for work. Because if we go for another place also, we will face the problem of firing. Work here for one day, we'll be getting a food for next day. If one day work is not stopped, we won't be getting a food for next day.
The phase 2 metro construction started in 2019 and will be completed by 2024. BMRCL is constructing an underground metro station.
Some of them have already been relocated and they have gone because some compensations have been given by the land section. Okay, we don't know what is the compensation. It has been given and they are all moved out.
Other than the potters, many helpers from the nearby slums will also lose job if BMRCL demolishes the pottery town.
BMRCL, with respect to metro rail construction, ideally the authority would issue notices to the landowner, and compensation would also be awarded as far as acquisition is concerned in accordance with law. The primary question that arises is are those potters the owners insofar as that land is concerned?
Asked about their future plan if metro construction demolishes the town, the artisan said that they don't have any future plan as it will be very difficult for them to move out of the pottery town. I'm Prantika Ghosh reporting for CityCast, Bangalore. Treatment costs for dementia patients leave a hole in their family's pocket. Our reporter Ahana Prakash tells us why.
Dementia treatment in private centers costs around 70,000 per month. The absence of government-run dementia centers in India is making it difficult for families to afford the cost. As per the Dementia India report, in Bangalore, 46,000 elders are estimated to be suffering from dementia.
My mother has dementia and it is definitely expensive to get it treated at a private center. And if you go for residential care, it does cost around 70,000 per month. You can't abandon parents in this situation. You have to spend as much money as they ask for.
Dementia patients have difficulty in performing daily activities like remembering names and socializing. According to Dr. Ananya Das, if patients have severe symptoms like often change in emotion or aggressive behavior, it is best that they are under professional care 24/7.
We have about 80 patients. It's a residential thing. Elementary, the rates are different. Right from 50,000 we have up to 70,000. The medicine, the food, everything is inclusive. Maybe other things like diapers will come different.
Studies show that number of people with dementia could increase by 166% from about 57.4 million people in 2019 to 152.8 million people in 2050. In the coming years, as people will live longer, cases of dementia will rise. There is a need to develop more geriatric facilities.
Facilities for people, it may be like memory clinics, it may be like geriatric clinics. In the Western countries, they have aged care programs. There are geriatric clinics. There are doctors who specialize in old age problems. Healthcare, not just dementia care. There is a problem of cost effectiveness.
Nimhans in Bangalore is going to have India's first government-run dementia center. It is expected to be completed by next year. This center will provide affordable health care to people suffering from dementia. More people are ordering food online now, leading to a boost in food delivery business. Our reporter Saili Patil brings us more.
According to the National Restaurant Association of India's report, the number of online food deliveries has increased by 10 to 15% during the third lockdown with the weekend curfews in play.
लॉकडाउन के पहले क्या था, वो सिर्फ 10,000 मतलब एवरेज होता था, 3 लाख या 4 लाख तक होता था मंथली बिजनेस. अभी लॉकडाउन के बाद सब कस्टमर जोमेटो स्विगी के ऊपर ही डिपेंड हुआ ना मैडम. इसीलिए तो अभी एवरेज तो 30,000 तक आया.
30% of the total revenue earned has come from online food deliveries and takeaways.
मैं रोज का 30-35 ऑर्डर मारता हूँ. अभी मिल रहा है सैटरडे को 10 रुपीज़ मिलता है, 12 से 3, 7 से 10 ऐसा ही मिलता है कुछ.
People were working from home, hence they had no option but to order food online. This led to the increase in the number of food deliveries.
So I stay alone and I cook my own meals. But when work from home started, it was very difficult for me to make my own food. So I had to rely on home tiffin services.
The secretary of Bangalore Hotels Association says that it could be a more profit-making business if the food aggregators would cut down the commission of 25% on order value from the restaurants.
They have to cut down on the delivery charges. The pricing is pocket-friendly. Then only upper middle class or middle class people can order through online.
Despite a surge in their business due to increasing number of food deliveries, the restaurant owners still want their customers to visit their dine-ins. This is Saili Patil reporting for CityCast. That is all for today. Thank you for watching.
For more stories, log on to www.citycast.in.